Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mickey Sightings. Hey, Mr. Greg is in the house. He says, hey, everybody, and we're the only ones here. How's it going, my brother? Good to see you this afternoon on this fine Saturday. Are you out and about today? Nothing like a good cup of coffee on a Saturday afternoon in the Animal Kingdom cup. Love this cup. And Minnie Fan says she is here. And Greg said, yes, I saw that you were at Hollywood Studios last night. We're just not watching any Christmas streams right now. We want to be surprised when we go down for Thanksgiving. So we're on a Christmas stream hiatus at the moment. Now, once we go on our trip, we can watch all the streams and watch all the replays and everything. But the only thing we're looking for are our snacks are going to be. And I'm putting together a list of pictures and things I want to do this time, some B-roll footage that I want to take this time. And so I feel like I'm planning a little bit more for this trip than others as far as the channel is concerned. So that's going to be kind of cool. Yes, there is a lot that needs to be talked about in the world of Disney. If you watched or heard the call, as a matter of fact, I have that audio file that I can play in the chat. If I was thinking if anybody wanted to hear it, I edited it out so it's just the report itself. It's not all the question and answer. Yeah, well, Greg, it's like we go live very seldom in the parks. I was telling Danny the other night, is that that's family time, and with us, not being able to go down as much right now with the scheduling and everything the way it is. We're not going to do a lot of streaming. It just takes a lot of, I enjoy streaming. It just takes a lot out of your trip. You know how that is. So we may do a little bit of streaming while we're there, but I don't think we're going to do a lot. We haven't done any streaming, I don't think, for the last 2 trips we've been down there. Hey, Stevie Lee, good to see you this afternoon. Good to see you. Welcome. Today, we're just I was hoping to do this chat yesterday, and welcome to my world. My schedule shifts like the wind. So I plan to go live, and then things happen. I don't get to go live, and I tried 3 different times yesterday. So I said, well, I'm going to go for today and see what happens. So anyway, we're at 2:00. We'll see what goes on. Greg and I were talking about the earnings report. Kind of going over that just a little bit, kind of talking about other stuff going on in the world of Walt today. And everybody's greeting everybody in here. Hopefully more people will come in. If not, well, it'll be us, and we will just have our own little chit chat. There's nothing wrong with that. So are you having a good day, Stevie? There's some, it's really interesting how in the next few years, especially within the next 2 or 3 years, how many huge anniversaries are being celebrated across Disney. I was just looking at the pin releases that they announced today for 2021. There are some fantastic pin releases there. Greg, Steve, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at them, but they are really, really cool. It's a 2021 series that they're doing. Looks really neat. Yeah, I like that. I can see that being something that looks like lanyards and all kinds of things. It's not only Walt Disney World pins, but also Disneyland as well, which, of course, hopefully Disneyland will open in 2021. If Gavin Newsom has anything to do about it, they'll never open again. I actually have a thought. I think somebody has mentioned this, so it's not unique to me, I don't think. But I think they should just open Disneyland and see if Newsom can shut them down. It'd be such a PR nightmare for him. I don't think he would even touch it. I mean, they're going to almost have to do something like that. It's sad, but it's just ridiculous, because with the system that they're setting up for Disneyland to try to meet, it's going to be almost impossible for them to get there. Even with a vaccine, I'm not, there's this idea that everybody's just going to run out and take this vaccine once it comes out, and that's not the case. I'm one of them. I'm not going to run right out and take the vaccine. I'm just not. I don't take the flu vaccine because when I have, it makes me it makes me ridiculously sick. I almost ended up in the hospital one time after taking the flu vaccine. I'm not going to be the first in line to take this. I'm sorry. I'm glad they're developing it, but I'm just not going to be one of the first ones out there. And so, you can't hang everything on just a vaccine. People got to be responsible. But I think Disney World has shown that it can happen, and Universal has, and Busch Gardens has, SeaWorld has. I mean, all these other places have shown it, and they're operating according to science. I mean, in many, many ways. Some of it, I agree, is economics, but the science is showing about face masks. I mean, they are somewhat effective, but they're not 100% effective. So there is no 100% effectiveness out there right now. Oh, yeah, Stevie. Yeah. Oh, I know, the nice fresh air. Oh, no, it is gorgeous up here in North Florida today. It is absolutely beautiful. We've been working outside most of the morning, and we're planning to open up our windows. I'm surprised they haven't been opened yet, only because of Rebecca. She's like, I don't want the windows open. Oh, no, she's afraid of fresh air. Yeah, Greg says he can't wait for the 50th anniversary pins. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is for sure. So it'll happen a year after the vaccine is out. Yeah, agree, Stevie. A good year. And they're already saying that, and this is one of the issues that you deal with, because, I mean, not getting very political, but you definitely deal with, which, me, I wander into politics anyway. I'm not ashamed of it. You look at the data that is out there, and it's showing, that this would happen with the vaccine, this will happen without a vaccine. But unfortunately, some of the freedoms, talk about freedoms, is that they're saying that they could force people to take the vaccine in the name of public health. Well, that could be a real tricky, wicked point. I do look for them to make it mandatory. Like, my mom lives in a retirement community. I do look for them to make it mandatory for residents in assisted living, skilled nursing facilities, hospice facilities, communal living facilities, colleges. I look for that to be a mandatory thing. Just like there are some vaccines that are mandatory for college. I look for COVID to be one of them. So it's going to be really interesting. But I'm not going to be running out there to get it. I'm certainly not. I'm not going to run to the corner Walgreens store and get a shot. I'm not. It's not going to happen. Nope. So, everybody's saying, oh, once, the vaccine comes out, everybody takes the vaccine and it's all good. Well, that's not the case. The reality is, and I'm not the first to say this, but we're going to have COVID forever. I mean, COVID's going to be around now forever, just like any other virus has been. Once it's introduced into into existence, it will always be. So we're just going to have to deal with it. But I know some of our folks in our YouTube family their states are shutting back down again. It's just, and one of the things that they're showing. I mean, I think Chicago is proof of this. Chicago shuts down, and Chicago has mask mandatory, yet they have the most cases and the highest spike numbers in the country right now. So what's going wrong? They're locked up, they're wearing masks, and their numbers are skyrocketing. So where does that fit into this narrative? I wear face masks. My mom has serious breathing problems, and I'm able to at least see her, not in her apartment, but I'm at least able to see her a few times a week. I don't want her getting it. I deal with blood pressure issues. My whole family does. I don't want to get it, although my doctor thinks that that's what we actually had back in February, which made me and Susie so sick we thought we were going to die. Anyway, it's going to be real interesting, and we're going to have this virus. We're going to have to just work around it and deal with it. Like I said, I wear a mask. We have no mandates here in Florida. We have none in our county. We have none in our city. We have none anywhere here. None in our schools, nothing. It's like the wild, wild west up here. And I wish there were a few more restrictions up here, but, and our numbers keep climbing. So surprise, surprise. So, you can see both things happening. You see where there's a lot of restrictions and the numbers go up. You see where there's no restrictions and the numbers go up. So we're just going to have to keep figuring it out. Stevie Lee says, I can see the schools around me closing. New York numbers keep climbing. Yeah. And the thing about it, Stevie, and Stevie, you're in New York, right? You just said that you're in New York. I don't know why I had you down south here for some reason. Yeah, and Minifan says my school is operating like normal. Yeah, I mean, our superintendent has said, it's not that he denies it exists, but he thinks it's all hype. So anyway, and we have cases climbing every day, especially among our kids in our school district, but they're not closing anything down. He's already said they're not closing anything down. But New York is seeing increases too. And, unfortunately, Dr. Fauci had said, and, it's common sense, really. The reason why flu spreads, the reason why this is going to spread is people get close together in the holidays. Obviously it's holidays. It's colder and cooler weather. People are indoors more, breathing recycled air. They're not out in fresh air. One of the things that science has proven is that higher vitamin D levels impact whether or not you become symptomatic with COVID-19. So when you're out in sunlight more, your vitamin D levels are higher. So you're less apt to exhibit symptoms or even contract the virus. So, all those things are minimized, though, once fall and winter set in. So we're going to see these major spikes in numbers. Greg says they have a special live stream coming up on the 19th of November virtual. There's actually several of those, Greg. There's several that are in that series that that virtual D23 is going to do. Yeah, Epcot, the Magic of Possibilities, that is one of them. I think there are 7 of them. I think there are either 6 or 7 of them. And where the main focus, Ratatouille, yeah, possible opening date. I hope so. I hope they'll give an opening date. Right now, you're just really waiting to see what they're going to just unveil at the 50th, because so many of the things that they were planning, the 50 things for the 50th, so many of those things have had to be postponed, canceled, or, construction has been paused or delayed. Is going to really see, if there's stuff that they can really release quickly, they'll get that out for the 50th so that there's something. So I definitely don't look for Ratatouille to happen until after the first of the year. I would think that they would probably coordinate it somewhere. I mean, since this next year, there's virtually going to be no break in festivals at Epcot, kind of like this year. I mean, this is the longest food and wine festival ever in the history of it. Once we get after the first of the year into January, we hit the art festival. And then from there, we go to Flower and Garden. I'm kind of thinking that it'll probably open somewhere within that transition between the art festival and Flower and Garden. That's just my thought. They're going to wait till, I believe, more better weather in terms of spring weather, spring break crowds. They're going to try to get as many people as they can into that ride. So I'm kind of looking at maybe like March, honestly, is what I'm thinking about. Now, I have nothing to bear that on. That's just my humble opinion. As far as Tron is concerned, I really think with the delay that they're having to put on it, it makes me wonder if Tron will not open until 2022. And it's a possibility that would be the 40th anniversary of Tron. February of 2022 will be the 40th anniversary. Maybe they would open it in conjunction with that 40th, because it appears that they're going to stop construction on Tron once that canopy is built. But you never know. They may change that. That Starline, the Star Cruiser, Greg and I, I've talked about that many times. I don't understand why they feel that's a priority construction item. That just blows my mind. I don't get that at all. Also, then there's Guardian of the Galaxy, which is probably a lot of its hold up is because the graphic imagery, the imagery for it, the real pictures. I'm trying to say the video for it, the actual thematic video. Has not been filmed yet because it's in the next installment of Guardians of the Galaxy. So, but I have heard from this report that filming will resume. So that means that they will have the footage for that ride. But that's still is going to push that ride probably at the end of 2021, because just because they film it doesn't mean it's ready to be placed in the ride itself. So I look for that to be 2021. That's just my opinion. So I'm kind of looking at Tron 2021. I'm looking at the Guardians being toward the end of 2021. I'm thinking probably Ratatouille will be around March 2021. But those are going to be really neat streams. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I think there are 6 or 7 of those components that are going to be in there. So that's really cool. But I'm looking at the Disney shares, looking at the report, it was really kind of interesting because one of the things that they said is that they have been operating at 35% capacity. Well, I know, exactly Epcot turns 40 in 2022 as well. So they may shoot more toward, instead of Epcot stuff being more focused on the 50th, focus on their 40th. And I think that's possible. I think that is definitely possible because it looks like the construction is really picking up in some areas. Of course, the west side there is still, intact, but I think that'll come down pretty quickly. To change that over to the water feature, the Moana water feature, I think that'll be pretty simple. It's going to be interesting to see, but I definitely agree with you. I think they're going to be focusing on that stuff for Epcot's 40th. To try to with Epcot's 40th being so close to Disney World's 50th, I wouldn't try to push all that stuff for Epcot. Just focus on everybody. When you think of Walt Disney World, the 50th, obviously they're thinking of Magic Kingdom. That's Magic Kingdom. That's where I would put in all the energy. Strive to do better. Good to have you in the house with us. Good to see you. That is Cody, right? Cody with Strive to do better. I'm Sean with Mickey Sightings. It's good to, and that's SHAWN for those of you. People are always asking me how do I spell my name because we have people in our community that spell it all different kinds of ways. Sailing away with T&K. Good to see you in the house this afternoon. Good to see you. Yeah, we're doing some kind of general Disney chat for the moment. We're getting ready to talk about the earnings report. I know everybody loves talking about money, but I think there's some interesting things in that. But one of the things that came up from Bob Chapek was that parks will have been operating at 35%. We knew that. I had said 40, but they say 35. I believe that they have been operating at 35%. He said for some time. I believe that sometime has been since the middle of September. Because we really saw, I know from when we went in July, which was 2 weeks after the opening, it was scarce. And so, okay, we're at 25%. We go back in October, we're at 25%. It was not even close. I mean, there were far more people there in October than were there in July to be operating at 25%. So we said all along that they had bumped it up. They just didn't tell anybody. If he announced it's 35, I expect it to be headed toward 50 in the next couple of weeks, if you want my honest opinion. That's just my opinion. I have nothing to base it on. But if they waited 6 or 7 weeks to tell us that they had already bumped it up 10%, why would they not go ahead and bump it up another, 10%? That's one thing we can rely upon. We love Disney, but they're not always very forthcoming with their people. So you just kind of have to take some of the stuff in stride. Yes, Cody. So you guys check out Cody's channel, Strive to Do Better. It was great. He was in Steve's World Insomniac stream. We were all in that last night at 2:00 in the morning. I don't know what time you all finally went to bed. We were all insomniacs last night. But he and Steve have a McRib challenge going on. So that's kind of cool. Hey, Frankie is in the house. We were talking about you last night, Frankie. You missed Monarch Moments stream. I was convinced that you needed to be in there for the rope tying. They were doing these knots, and I was like, Frankie can handle that. So you needed to be in there. It's definitely been more than 25% for a while. Okay, so you were there, Cody, in October as well. Yeah, it was definitely, those of us who have been in the parks for any length of time know what it looks like whenever it's at half for capacity and above. I look forward to be at 45% by December. I really do. I look for them to put as many people as they can in there before New Year. And honest to goodness, I believe after New Year, it's going to be no holds barred. I believe it's going to be, because we have the full green light in Florida. And another thing too that they have not announced, but I know it in everything I stand for, is that they have bumped up restaurant capacity. I know they have. I'm convinced that the fluke that they had last week with all those reservations is they were trying to strategically add reservation spots into some of the restaurants, and it crashed the system because it was real interesting that within 2 days after the that crash, that there were a lot of availabilities in the restaurants. And the reason I know that personally is because we had been trying for 2 months to get a Liberty Tree Tavern reservation for Thanksgiving Day, which is like ridiculous, right? And so we weren't able to get one. We were checking multiple times a day, even into the night, and was unable. All of a sudden, we got one for $12.50, which is like lunchtime on Thanksgiving at Liberty Tree Tavern. And a lot of the other places I was looking at all of a sudden had openings as well. So they've bumped up capacity in the sit-down areas. They're just not ready to tell anybody yet. So, like I said, if they waited 7 or 8 weeks to tell people they had bumped park capacity up, well, then why would they? They're not going to come right out and say it with the restaurants. They're just not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Right. It has me all messed up. Yeah, us too, Frankie. It is really the time change. I don't know if it happens as you get older or what, but the time change this year really kind of has been weird. By like 8:30, we're all like ready to go to bed, but we stay up and endure it. But it was a good stream last night. Michelle did turkey legs. I was kind of in it like I usually am. I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. Because I'm doing other things and trying to do other things here at the house while watching people's streams. I'm usually on my phone, so I can't tag very well. But yeah, Frankie says she can't wait for the 50th. That's right. Come January, it's no holds barred. I look for it to be, they won't be at 100%, but I look for them to be rocking up toward, if there is a reliable vaccine out there that people are willing to take, they may bump it up to close to 60%, maybe 70%. I look for restaurants to operate pretty close to capacity, if you want my opinion. It's really kind of interesting that one of the fellows that we've known for a number of years at the Wave, there at the Contemporary, he's been our server for about 3 years now. He's worked there for 26 years at that restaurant, and he had been reassigned. Well, he Instagrammed me last week that he was keeping his job, so they weren't making those cuts and changes at the Wave that they were going to make, evidently, which tells me that they're allowing, again, that all coincided. It was the same week, it was that same time frame. I said no. What they did is they've just bumped capacity. Hope the 50th will be a better time for everything. I hope so, Stevie. Absolutely. I hope it will too. Of course, unfortunately, going into a new year is not going to change everything, but at least it'll be kind of a fresh start out of 2020, right? 2021 was like, Lord, please let 2021 be better than 2020's been. Just wanted to stop by and say, hey, I look forward to seeing more. See you soon, Sean. Have a great weekend. I'll have a great weekend, Cody. I hope to catch you down at the parks. We'll be down for Thanksgiving. So I'm on Instagram, Mickey Sightings. Check us out. Maybe we can get together while we're down there. And it's great meeting you, Cody. Have a great one. Oh, Pamela's in the house. Have a great live stream chat. Sean just wanted to pop in and say hi. Have a wonderful week. We will do that, Miss Pamela. You have a great weekend, too. We are sitting here. We're just kind of chit-chatting away. But let's go over some of the report from the quarterly earnings, and we can talk about that just a little bit. But it says Disney reported strong growth in streaming service subscribers in its fourth quarter earnings report Thursday. The company exceeded expectations on revenue and showed less drastic losses than anticipated, which was very good news. The loss per share was 20 cents per share versus 71 cents, which was what was expected. So that's a 51-cent difference. So that was pretty huge. The revenue was $14.71 billion versus $14.2 billion expected. So the revenue was also higher there. Now it says that the Disney Plus streaming service has more than 73 million paid subscribers as of the end of the fourth quarter. And that's been one of the big things that they've been talking about, is trying to really push the positivity on Disney Plus, showing that those are the paid subscribers, because a lot of the free subscribers through Verizon, I think this month, was their last month, which we had this year through Verizon, but we've got extra years because of D23. But I think they're really trying to push that narrative, that they wanted to make sure that people understood that 73 million, that does not include all these free people, which it's going to be kind of interesting, because I really don't see how some of those could be extrapolated out yet, but we'll see. Shares rose as much as 6% after hours, but part against gains during the executives call. And McCarthy said, of course, she's a chief financial officer, she said the company would continue with dividends in the long term, The decision to pause the dividend came after activist investor Don Loeb said the company ended the dividend in order to fund Disney Plus content. So shares were still up more than 3% during the call. And I found an interesting chart in perspective. Disney has 73.6 million subscribers. Hulu has, let's see, was that 36.6 million? ESPN has 10.3 million. And Netflix has 195 million subscribers. So kind of putting those kind of together. They said that the COVID-19 pandemic has most significantly impacted Disney's parks division due to local restrictions that have forced temporary closures or limited capacity. Disneyland Resorts has remained closed as California restrictions prevent it from operating due to the level of COVID-19 cases in the surrounding county. We talked about that a few minutes ago. I think Disney ought to just open Disneyland and just see if Gavin Newsom would actually shut them down. That would be an absolute PR nightmare. So I think there comes a point where it's almost like you say, you know what, we're just going to do this thing. Because it's ridiculous. His whole plan is not science-based. It's not science-based at all. And there are just going to continue to be thousands and millions of people unemployed throughout California. It's just ridiculous. And he's picking on the theme parks. It seems like he's picking on Disney in particular, which is, whatever, but that's just so petty. It says it has been able to reopen its theme parks in Florida, Shanghai, Japan, and Hong Kong with limited capacity. However, Paris Disneyland was forced to close in late October and will not reopen again until 2021. Disney estimated that the next adverse impact of COVID-19 on the parks division operating income was about $2.4 billion in the fourth quarter. That's a lot of money, $2.4 billion. Well, Bob Chapek on the call to analysts Thursday said that Disney is extremely disappointed in California's decision to keep parks closed despite the measures they've taken to keep visitors and staff safe. And we were talking about that just a few minutes ago. We got to get back here. I'm going to catch up on chat here. The Imagineering story. Yeah, I'll catch up on all this in just a minute. He says, our health and safety protocols are all science-based and have the support of labor unions representing 99% of our hourly cast members, Chapek said. He says, frankly, as we and other civic leaders have stated before, we believe state leadership should look objectively at what we've achieved successfully at our parks around the world, all based on science, as opposed to setting an arbitrary standard that is precluding our cast members from getting back to work. Disney estimated in its earnings release that costs related to the pandemic will total roughly $1 billion in fiscal year 2021, though it said changes to local restrictions could alter that figure. So here's how Disney segments did in the fourth quarter in terms of revenue compared to the same quarter of last year. The parks, experiences, and products was $2.58 billion, which was down 61% from last year. That is an insane amount of money. So that's the reason why they said that was the biggest hit, 61%. Media networks, the revenue was $7.21 billion, which was actually up 11% year over year. Studio entertainment, $1.6 billion, which was down 50% year over year. And direct-to-consumer and international, $4.85 billion. It was up 41% year over year. They said that the revenue in Disney's studio entertainment segment fell 52% to $1.6 billion due to low theatrical and home entertainment results, which, if you remember, that became the catalyst, really, which led to Disney saying we're going to have a new business model as it relates to theatrical versus streaming, and they're going to lean more heavily towards streaming. The company had no significant worldwide theatrical release during the quarter and faced tough comparisons to hits like The Lion King and Toy Story 4, which were released in the same quarter last year. Disney's home entertainment sales also suffered during the quarter as it had few titles to offer consumers. Last year, during this period, the company had Avengers Endgame, Aladdin, and Captain Marvel all going to the home market. Disney executives did not offer insight on how well Mulan performed. This is interesting. After it was released as a premium product on Disney Plus, Chapek said the release was met with some controversy. Of course, that's because the Chinese groups that related to the detention camps. If you guys have read any of that news, and there's a huge State Department investigation going on right now with that a lot of people don't seem to want to talk about. Cable networks and operating income fell 7% over the year to $1.2 billion. Disney blamed the decline on lower results at ESPN because of higher programming and production costs related to securing rights for NBA and MLB programming. I think it is you go woke, you go broke. I think a lot of that was because NBA and baseball, but particularly the NBA and the NFL, have seriously caught a lot of flack from after the whole Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff. So they started delving into social issues, and it's cost them money. So they can shift the blame to production and programming, but I think it all had to do with going woke. McCarthy said Disney will no longer break out results for 21st Century moving forward, for 21st Century Fox moving forward. So that was an interesting report. Very, very interesting. I'm gonna upload a video later. Woo, I'm blurry. Got to get this thing refocused. Hello, Clarice. Okay, there it goes. Of the audio of that call. So if you guys actually want to listen to it, it's an edited version, so it leaves out all the question and answer and all the preliminary stuff. It is just the report by McCarthy and Chapek. So if you want to hear that, I'm going to be uploading that a little bit later. All right, let me come back here. I'm waiting for season 2, Frankie says, of the Imagineering story. Yes, me too. I've been really excited. The Animal Kingdom show, they keep adding new ones. They added 2 more. We've been watching those. We watched one of them last night where Grace, the gorilla, who we'll get to see in a couple weeks, was born, which is so cool. Got to see the baby the rhinoceros was born, which is really, really cool. And so that they added that. And they also have added some 12-minute segments called Inside Pixar. And that is about the making of Soul. And we watched the first installment of that last night, which was really cool. Love the Imagineering story. Cannot wait for season 2. I'm like Frankie. That's been one of my favorites. Newsom is a butthead. Yes, he is. He is. He's a political hack. I'm watching. Oh, Stevie Lee. I've been watching Emperor's New Groove, the TV show, and I have the theme song stuck in my head all the time. I don't think I've ever heard the theme song of the TV show. That's funny. I don't know, Greg. It's been confirmed, but I hope there is there'll be a season 2. I'm sure. With the model shifting the way it is, and the thing is too, we have to realize these segments entertain us because it's really cool to kind of get an inside look because we're such Disney nerds. But for the general populace, these are like marketing exercises. It creates interest in the parks. It creates interest in movies. It creates interest in new releases. And so it feeds into it feeds into the consumer aspect of it. So for us, it's great because I love seeing all that stuff. But for the general population, it's a lot of marketing. But we'll take it. We'll take it anyway we can get it. I met a gentleman the other day at work who makes Walt Disney World television ads. Well, that's really cool. Some of the vloggers out there have almost become almost like Disney advertisement agents. I don't know. I think that's because so many are afraid that, okay, I'm going to say this is my stream. I can say what I want to. I think once you get those media credentials, it really puts people in a box because those media credentials are so coveted. People like Tom with Walt Disney World News Today, they had theirs revoked because Tom's very upfront sometimes about Disney, and he calls it like he sees it. You can hate Tom or like Tom or whatever. I don't always agree with everything they all say, but there is this consensus that, hey, I want to be able to speak my mind. Well, Disney didn't like that, and they revoked their pass privilege. What you see right now, because so many of the Disney streamers, live streamers, are earning their income from this, that they have almost become like a part of the media machine, the marketing machine for Disney, because they want to stay in good graces because they don't want Disney revoking their media pass. And so with that, you kind of get a lot of them are turning into like ads. They really are. I mean, they even sound like ads, some of them. And it's really kind of disappointing because I like to listen to streams where, I believe in positivity. I think we should be positive. But I think we live in an age, too, where we have to face facts. And I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I agree with everything Walt Disney does. I have serious issues with Walt Disney as a company, serious issues. I have ethical issues. I have political issues. I have social issues. I have religious issues. I have a lot of issues with Walt Disney as a company. I love the parks. I love the movies. There are some things I think Disney never should have gotten into. I'm very open about that. There are some things I wish they would just sell. I'm very open about that. So I think we have to face the facts too. I mean, because, if we love something and we're passionate about it, we need to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so with that being said, I like looking at every advantage. I would not want a media pass because I want to be able to talk about Disney the way I want to talk about Disney. I don't want to be put in a box somewhere. But I think we're seeing a lot of that, unfortunately, happen among a lot of the full-time vloggers. And, I don't have to worry about them getting mad at me because they don't watch me. But I just really see that. And it really has disappointed me to the point that I pretty much have stopped watching a lot of them because, when I watch a vlog, I want to see what's good. I want to see what's bad. I don't want to hear that everything is rosy when I know it's not. And, I am not going to use this pandemic to profit off of it. And I'm not going to use people's fears to profit. And, and we can still be positive. We can still give the truth, and we can do it nicely. We don't have to be mean or angry about it. But the truth is good, and it never hurts. So that's my rant. But I am glad that Walt Disney as a company is doing well financially. I'm glad to hear that. We want Walt Disney. We need that business. We need that company in our country. We need that company. I couldn't imagine life without Walt Disney. That would just be, that would be shuddering. Apple, I know, has positioned itself. So has Microsoft. They would love to buy Disney. And I was just hoping beyond hope that Apple wouldn't step in and, give the group investors an offer that they couldn't refuse. So it's going to be really interesting, but I'm glad to see that there is profit margins. I'm glad to see that there were gains. Yes, there were losses. There were going to be losses, but I'm glad to see that there are gains where they were. I am glad to see that Disney is treating their pass holders a little bit better. Of course, I wish they'd bring the 30% discount back before I go down. Hopefully they will. 20%, I'm not knocking it, but 30 was really, really nice. I'm glad that they're doing a product line. Of course, that's good. That causes our pass holders to spend more money. Although I do wish that pass holders had more, particularly, and it's because I am one, a platinum pass holder. I think we should have less restrictions on our park pass reservations. I think being limited to 3 is ridiculous for the amount of money that we pay. We can't even see all 4 parks in a given stay unless we stay on site. And I know it's a money issue about staying on site, but as platinum pass holders, we have been with them long enough and we've paid enough money that I think that they should give at least 4 or 5. I'll give another couple days that we'd be able, because we cannot book anything for the 50th, which I heard Magic Kingdom's full for the 50th, but we have a travel agent working on it, so I think we're good. But because we have our trip planned for 2 weeks, so we can't schedule any more park time. So it's just kind of ridiculous. And Park Hopper, the fact that there's no Park Hopper is really a bummer right now. Hopefully that's going to be alleviated come January. I don't look for it to happen before January, but hopefully we'll see a little bit of a switch flipped in January to where some of those things will happen. I think a lot of it's kind of like us with church. Let's just do a new year for a new start of a lot of things, kind of keep the pace right now, and then just, go for the gusto in January. Julio, California Park is going to open for dining this Thursday. That is awesome. That is awesome. And, we're talking about that. We're really excited about that Disney is opening up more in that, and hopefully Disneyland can get open soon. Greg says we should have more than 3. Yeah, I agree. We should have 3 more than 3. Platinum pass holders pay enough money, and we pay to not have blackout dates. So and I know we still don't technically have blackout dates, but we still have that same restriction on the amount of park reservations that we can make at a time. So I definitely think that there should be, especially consider we're still paying the money. We're paying the money for Park Hopper. We're paying the money for multiple parks. We're paying the money for 100% flexibility. That needs to be provided or platinum pass holders get a bigger discount. We pay a substantially more amount of money than gold and silver to be basically on the same plane right now as gold and silver. And I don't look for that to last very long. If it doesn't, you're going to have a lot of people dropping platinum, and that's going to hurt their bottom line. But of course, Chapek said that Disney's not built on the backs of pass holders because he's an absolute lunatic. But anyway, hashtag Fire Chapek, by the way, is still trending, and I would consider doing that again, despite this report, because even though the report was good, we still have thousands of cast members that are still out of work, and they need to be brought back. And a lot of that was not financial. A lot of that was just because Chapek got a virus to do his bidding, because he's been making cuts ever since he was allowed to make cuts, and he just keeps making more and more of them. So Disney is slowly becoming more like a fair and just like any other park, rather than what makes Disney unique. So I digress. But so anyway, but like I said, I'm encouraged that the financial report was better than they thought it was going to be on some angles. Of course, parks is still a bust. If we can get Disneyland open back up, that'll be awesome. Do you think they're phasing APs out? Minifan asked, do you think that they're phasing APs out? I don't think so. I know that had really kind of come up as a question a couple of weeks ago. Was that seemed to be their intent? I don't think that they're trying to phase it out. I am wondering if they're going to phase out the tiers, though. I wonder if it's going to be more like you're either an annual pass holder or you're not. That they're not going to do the gold and the silver and the platinum and the platinum plus and the one that we can go to all the parks. I look for it to be more cut and dry to that. I could see them going toward that model maybe, but I don't know. I think the annual pass program has been beneficial. Hey, Disney Nerd Herders, Charlie is in the house. Ninja watching while eating lunch. All right. Awesome, Charlie. We're good to have you in. We've just been talking about the fourth quarter earnings report and some of the stuff going on at Disney. But yeah, as a matter of fact, Disney Nerd Herders, we will be down there with them at Thanksgiving, along with Expedition Greg, which is going to be really cool. And of course, Frankie and Stevie, they're up in New York, so they're still in lockdown, which is crazy. And but so we're going to get to see all the cool stuff. I've been telling Greg that I haven't watched his Christmas streams because we want to be really surprised with all the Christmas decorations. We watch very little. I've seen some pictures on Instagram, but other than that, I don't want to know what to expect. I want to get there, and I want it to be a complete and total surprise. So I don't want to be Christmased out before I ever see it to begin with. That's just how we are. That's kind of how we roll in our family. We like the magic of Disney, and we like to see stuff firsthand, and then we'll go back and we'll start watching everything. It is kind of interesting to think that there may be a Wreck-It Ralph attraction coming to the Magic Kingdom where Stitch's Great Escape was. That's going to be kind of cool. That had been rumored for a long time, but they're doing some work there, so who knows, that it's possible is going to be a reality. There was a permit pulled but prior to the shutdown that led us to believe that a Wreck-It Ralph attraction was going to be coming into that area. So it looks like they're doing some construction there. They've completely closed down the Merchant of Venus, the gift shop there. They've curtained all of that off, which is the exit point from Stitch's Great Escape. They also have a box there now in front of that area where the sign was. So they're doing some kind of construction there. And Expedition Great said, yes, we will all be at Magic Kingdom on Thanksgiving. I think there are going to be some other folks there too that we're going to be able to meet up with. I'm not sure. We're trying to work out some of the details. I can't wait to try all the snacks, Charlie. I think you and me and Greg need to really try snacks. So Stevie says we're not really in lockdown, but if you leave New York, you have to take 2 COVID tests to come back in. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, and what is it? There is another state that's come there. Where was it? That's going back to the whole 14-day quarantine thing. It's going to be wild. You have, they're in Illinois. Was it the mayor there in Chicago saying that people can't have Thanksgiving? It's getting kind of weird again. So we're just going to have to do our due diligence. But Casey's Corner is not opening anytime soon. It doesn't appear. It looks like that the Emporium has actually rolled over. Some of the shelves and things have rolled over into the Casey's Corner, which means that Greg and I do not get our foot-long hot dog, which we usually always like to get. We enjoy getting that when we're out down there, and Susie doesn't like hot dogs, so neither, and Becca does. So me and Becca and Greg, we usually grab us a hot dog. Great snack soda are coming. I like the idea of the churros with the eggnog. That sounds really cool, the sugar spice churros. So I hope those are really good. I think we'll give those a try. There's the popcorn buckets that are down there that I know we're going to be getting the Christmas tree one. Hopefully the Jingle Bell sipper is still there that we missed out on last year because they sold out within like the first week. But plus the Christmas cavalcades. We're looking forward to seeing those. Those are going to be really cool. So there's just a lot. We're going to be at We're going to be at Disney Springs on that Wednesday because we'll be coming in on Wednesday. So we are going to do the Christmas tree trail and stuff there. And then on Thanksgiving Day, we'll be at Magic Kingdom. And then on Friday, we will be at Hollywood Studios. And I'm looking forward to that. I love the vintage Christmas decorations that are always there. I'm glad they brought those back this year. I want to do some feature videos on that because there's some interesting stories behind some of those. And also then on Saturday, we'll be at Animal Kingdom, which of course is my favorite park. And I can't wait. We've been watching all the Animal Kingdom episodes on Disney Plus. So some of the sites and things that we want to see in terms of some of the specific animals, we're going to try to see if we can get pictures of them since we've kind of been introduced to them through that series. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of like a scavenger hunt almost there at Animal Kingdom. But we're excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Colin's Travel. Colin is in the house. Y'all say hello to Colin. Colin is joining us all the way from the United Kingdom. It is good to have Colin in here today. Colin spent some time, let's see, 2.5 hours playing trivia with us the other day. So it's good to see Colin in the house. If you guys, make sure if you haven't clicked the like button, make sure you do that. Share out the stream if you can. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Mickey Sightings if you've not done so. We'd love to have you. If you think you're subscribed, you might want to double check because everybody seems to be dropping subscribers like crazy. So if you don't mind, just double check to make sure you are still subscribed to us. The Diwali lanterns I just saw in a report from Walt Disney World News today have been hung in Animal Kingdom. Those are going to be really cool in the Anandapur theater district there. Those are beautiful. I can't wait to see those at night. And those are going to be really pretty. We like eating at Yak and Yeti. I think we're going to be having lunch at Yak and Yeti while we're there on that Saturday. And then we'll leave Saturday night and come back home. So it'll be a quick trip. It'll be a short trip, but it will be a lot of fun. And Colin, I'll tell you what, he racked up some points, though. He didn't win, but he racked up a lot of points. So we're going to be doing that again. So you can jump in. We'll do some more trivia here in the very, very near future. But so anyway, I just thought we'd come in and do a little bit of Disney chat today. I think that's about all I got to cover. I wanted to go over the financial report, and we did that and just kind of give you guys a little bit of updates on things that are going on. So I think that's about it. Anybody have any last minute comments or last minute questions that you'd like to discuss before we close out for the day? All right. Well, if not, I am going to sign off, and I will catch you guys. I may do a surprise stream tomorrow afternoon. Who knows what we're going to do? We may do some trivia tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows what we may do? We may talk about our upcoming trip, some of the things that we like to see while we're there. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'll have Susie with me and Becca, and we'll see what we can come up with as far as some of the stuff that we're looking most forward to seeing while we're there. For you Disney fans, I have a trivia on Disney movies on February 24th. All right, we will put that on our calendar, Colin. Absolutely, February 21st. Okay, it is. Let me write that on my little note sheet here. So Colin's trivia. You guys write that down. Check Colin's trivia out if you would on February 21st. Awesome. And yes, sir, Charlie, we will catch you guys at Thanksgiving. Let us all know if you need anything. In the meantime, never lose sight of this one thing, that it was all started by a mouse. We love you guys, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.